Sir, good evening. We can start the event now. So, participants, Mr. Paresh Gupta is the founder and CEO of GCEC, Global Center for Entrepreneurship and Commerce, Brevity, and brand ambassador of Rajasthan Government Youth and Sports Activities. He has received Rajasthan Youth Icon Award and also featured in top 100 Who of Rajasthan. He's a very prominent speaker in the field of entrepreneurship and commerce, and he has a lot of achievements like topping in board examinations to studying in top-notch colleges of India or abroad as well. So today he will be guiding us, throwing some light upon entrepreneurship ecosystem post-COVID or startups ecosystem post-COVID. Sir, the stage is yours. We welcome you.
Hi everyone, so good evening and thank you so much for inviting me. And I do not want to be one of those boring speakers who just gives gyan and talk and bore you down. So I have a request, okay? So I'm gonna put an odd request that can some of you at least keep your cameras on. I'm happy Rajkush and Karthikeya are doing this, but others, show me your faces, guys. At least show me some faces so that I am not talking to the screen. Who am I talking to? So thank you, Rashmita. And if it's an e-cell, then all e-cell members are compulsorily required to turn their cameras on. Show your faces, please. Some of you, please do show your faces so that I know you guys are like listening to me, or just while I'm talking, you should always bang your head like this. So put on rock music, put your mute, and do like this so that at least I know that you guys are listening to me. So anyone else, please, others, Rajkush, Karthike, please do this appeal and ask people to turn their cameras on.
Guys, please turn your cameras on. Aryan, Bharat, Anandita, anyone, please.
Yes, guys, can you please turn cameras on?
Yeah, no need to be shy. Just thank you.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you, Shri.
Yes, more. I know you guys are louching on your beds and probably listening to me from your washrooms or going around. Thank you, Anindita. Anindita sounds so sleepy though. She's like, I just got up from my sleep. No, is it?
No.
She's so stressed out then. She's like, oh my god. And thank you, Mrityunjay. Oh my god. Wow, what name is it? So difficult to pronounce, but cool. Okay. Others, anyone else who can turn cameras on, please? So, okay. Anyways, I would just request if somebody can also do this. And I can see Paxi in. So if you're a startup, you better do this, And if you're a startup founder, then you better actually turn your camera on so that you build good relationships. And I'll start with this relationship networking technique, which I think makes more sense in life. That I'll ask you guys a question. Let's keep it interactive. There are like 43. Rajkush and Karthike, is it getting relayed also, or this is it? These are the only people.
So is it getting a live stream on YouTube?
Oh, it's getting live streamed on YouTube also. Okay, so I have a question to all of you guys who are there on the meeting here. That what is common and what do you require to get a good job or a good business? What is the most important thing to start? Yes, anyone wants to answer this?
Connections,
networks, right? So 90% jobs and 100% business is through network, right? Nothing else. So trust me, you need nothing else. Now, how do you build good networks? That's the question. How do you build good networks?
by interacting with different people.
By interacting with different people, by talking, by building connections. And the best way of building connections is giving compliments to people. That's what I started learning, okay? So always say, very good, very good. Even if the other person is bakwas, just say very good, very good, very good. because then the other person feels nice. Arey, chalo, hamari kisi ne tareef kari. So aap tareef karoge. So the other person, that's how I have built all my networks and connections in the beginning. And always try a variety of things, So in this COVID period, I think LinkedIn is the best place to start networking. You guys have to start networking, build network. And if you do not network, then you are dead. So all those are not turning the cameras on. You're missing an opportunity to network with me. Okay. That's the way I would put it. So Anandita, Karthike, Rashmita, Rajkush, and Shri will have an advantage of having a network for sure, and a better network, right? But that's exactly how life is, right? So life is all about networking. If you don't network, then you don't really get the meat of life. So anyway, I'll come to all of this. I want to share a presentation, and I want to share some slides, and we'll take your questions and keep it. Thank you, Ankit. Yes, Ankit is the founder then. So, and I love the background around. Okay, so let me present a tab, and here you go. Okay, all right. So I would start with, and you guys are definitely listening to me on an online platform. So the interesting part would be that, you guys can definitely see, a lot of things. So you can Google alongside. So let's start with some Googling only. So in fact, what I'm going to do is let's Google, and let's Google together. And I'm going to turn my Google on, and I'll share that tab also, and I'll switch to that tab and tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to share this tab, and I'm going to type MBA applying for sweeper jobs. And don't ask me to type engineering. I think this is an engineering college, isn't it? So you guys teach engineering in the college? Most people here are engineers? You want
Yes,
me
sir.
to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me try engineers applying for sweeper jobs. Okay. Engineers and MBAs among 3,500 graduates seeking this. Engineers apply for sweepers and driver jobs. I think congratulations for the qualifications. Right? I think we can figure out this reality that this is what is happening in the country, and not that sweeper jobs are bad, and not that driver jobs or watchman jobs are bad in any case. But is this what you're studying for is a question, and why are you doing this is a question. Situations are not great, and I think that's a tricky bit here. That situations are not so cool as you think they were earlier. If you were an engineer, let's say 30 years back, you would have got a job like crazy. I mean, you would have just got a job like that. Today, getting a job for an engineer is as difficult as climbing mountains, and it's not easy. I can show this for MBAs also. It's not awesome. I'll give you one more thing, okay? So while we're sharing this tab, and I will share this tab now, and I'll also tell you something more interesting. So let's type, will robots take my job? Okay, and let's see this and see what's happening. And the results are astounding, because you type whatever you want to type here, and let's say software developers and applications. Okay, so I'm going to type this from here, and your chances are that you will not be replaced by robots. But let's type something different, and let's type mechanical engineers. And I'm going to type mechanical engineers. And you will also not be replaced. And that's good. But let's type chartered accountants. Okay. And accountants and auditors. This is my qualification, by the way, guys. So 94% chances my job will be replaced by robots. And that's exactly the world where we are looking at. Things are weird. So I don't know if you're trying all this, but this is what is the reality of our situation around us. This is what you guys have to start typing all yourself. So whatever, mechanical engineer, civil engineers, type variety of engineers, whatever, graphic designers, any of these, software developers, computer programmers. So I don't know, you may type this computer programmer. 48% chances your job will be replaced by robots. And this is not surprising. So understand that if you think you will be a programmer and that will be good enough, I don't know, because it's crazy. I'll give you more statistics, okay? I'll give you more statistics, and this is something which I've already Googled for you. India population is this, and India is, like, thanks to our previous generations for being so romantic, for producing babies and babies, that in the last 30 years, our population has doubled in the country. So when I was born, okay, so I'm 41 now. When I was born, the population of India was about 70 crores. While I'm 41, The population of India is 130 crores, right? So thanks to the previous generation for having so many additional babies, that you guys are now struggling with all of these 70 crores extra population and extra competition. And that's exactly what's happening to you. So competition is crazy and rampant. It is this rampant that this is super unemployment. I'll also share so during COVID situations, the unemployment rate in the country has doubled. And the number of people unemployed. I mean, if I go to LinkedIn, okay, so whenever I go to LinkedIn, what happens with me is most of the times I am seeing somebody saying unemployed, 12 years of work experience, do not have a job, 6 years of experience, I have lost my job. And that's a very common situation right now. I can see people selling their cars. I can see people selling their homes and surviving. There was a guy from IIMs, okay, so I think he's from IIM Bangalore or some place. And he called up that he has not had any employment for the last 1 year, right? And things have been bad for a lot of companies. So things are bad, situation is bad, but now the fun part begins. So can you tell me what's the fun part of it now? Anyone wants to try?
Necessity is the mother of innovation or invention, because since there's some problems, definitely some innovations would come up and more opportunities will flourish.
So absolutely. So India, I used to hate India. Okay, I used to hate India. I ran away from India. I went outside. I started working in London and Dubai and Bahrain and Singapore and all these countries. And I like, India is a shit country. I don't want to be in India. It's a bakwas country to be with. Okay. When I came back to India, and I came for some medical reasons, and I came back and I realized that India has some very, very interesting things. India is a land of problems. And we have problem for everything. We can't handle our shit also. Right? India, we can't even, so if you're in London, there is no problem only. Okay. There is no problem. The only problem is kutte ka susu potty. So if you're walking your pet, then you actually have to lift the potty also and put it in a bag, because that's not allowed by law that, you can leave the litter on the streets. In India, we can't even manage human excreta. Right? We can't handle anything. We can't handle traffic. We cannot handle, basic hygiene. We cannot handle health. We cannot handle waste management. We cannot handle employment, education. Everything is a problem. And if all of this is a problem, India is beautiful for opportunities. This is the place for startups. So while India has been going through massive unemployment, while India is going through serious problems, I'll give you a surprising, shocking news. That this is the year, COVID times, right? Maximum COVID time, peak COVID times, when India is going through tough times, everybody is going through tough times, India produced the maximum number of unicorns. India actually is creating maximum number of unicorns this year during COVID. India's unicorns are coming out with IPOs. And this is the only time when they're coming out with IPOs. Imagine COVID times, we are saying economy is bad, people are losing jobs, startups are raising IPOs. Startups are raising money. Startups are going out. Startups are increasing. They're increasing their business. So imagine that the world is opposite directions. The people who actually choose the startup, they survive in a very different world. So this is statistics again, that those who actually choose entrepreneurship path are 50% more successful. Now, it's not easy, because initially what will happen, देखो तुम्हारी जिंदगी ना लगने वाली है अगर तुम startup करोगे. So 2 साल, it's a crazy battle. Okay. First 2 years, your friends will buy a car, they'll take a home, they'll do some interesting stuff, they'll go around with, dating with people, blah, blah, blah. They'll enjoy, they'll party. And if you're a startup, you will be on a scooter, Activa, struggling, going to different offices, meeting people, facing rejection. People will throw files on your face and like, ye main kya kar raha hu, and that's exactly what's going to happen to you if you take the startup path. But after second year, things will start changing. Essay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's exactly what happened to me. My path was exactly like this, okay? I came back from London to India, and I decided to take the entrepreneurship path. And while I took this entrepreneurship path, I was like, everybody around, and my entire family is like a family of, government officers, PhDs, masters, engineers, and that kind of family I have, and I'm like, bhai, matlab, kitni buri halat hai. Nobody has done a business in my life, in my family. So do not come from a family business background at all. Everybody is like a government employee, classic government employee situation. When I decided to be an entrepreneur, everybody was like, are you crazy? Tere se nahi hoga. You are completely dead. Tere se to hone wala nahi hai. And then 2 years, I failed. First startup, I did horrible. Okay, I lost 40 lakhs in my first business. And I was like, shit, man, I have just taken the wrong decision. I've just not done it right. But then, suddenly, I was like, no, I will still fight. And then I got my first national award, then second national award, then third national award. And then first TEDx, second TEDx, third TEDx, fourth TEDx, brand ambassador, SHM chairmanship. I don't know, 10,000 things started happening, blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3, business started picking up, one business, second business, third business. Now today, if I look back, I'm like, wow, man, what I've done is amazing, And this was a tough journey for 2 years, 3 years. But now today, I'm so cool, right? I mean, I decide afternoon, 4 o'clock, I decided to take a nap and say, I'm going home. I want to have party with my daughter. Done. And I can do that. And I actually do this. On a Thursday afternoon, I take a break. On a Monday morning, I decide not to go to office today. And I'll cancel all my meetings. And that's amazing freedom. That's the reason to probably do a startup. I think I'll give you 2 more stories to do a startup before, you would probably want to. And I hope you guys are not getting bored of me. If anybody's getting bored, please raise hand so that, I'll try to improve this. But I'll tell you Samose wale uncle ka story. Anybody getting bored? Are you guys enjoying? Okay. Rajkush, Rashmita, Kartikeya.
Yes, sir.
Only samosa available.
Sorry, what?
So if only these samosas were available to us on plates, then it would be more.
Why you guys can't access samosas? तुम्हारे घर पे delivery नहीं चल रही Zomato की?
No, sir, it's not on the session. I'm just wanting.
ये बात है. अच्छा, मतलब physical sessions में ना, we would actually do this. And startup sessions में, if you were to do a head start session, it should always culminate with a samosa and chai. And that used to be the highlight of the event. And we would always plan कि कौन सी जगह के समोसे is better. So we would actually plan that, and that's a classic important thing. Sorry guys, even I'm missing samosas, I swear. But I'll tell you a samosa wala uncle ki story. These are like 2 real stories, because my mom used to tell me that when I was a kiddo, okay, my mom would tell me that beta, agar tum padhai nahi karoge to tum samose ka thela chalaoge ya pan ki dukaan chalaoge. So I would get scared. I would like, no samose ki dukaan, no pan ka thela, chalo padhte hain. I would study for this reason only. I would just study because I was scared of running the samose ki dukaan, okay. Now, what happened is this London School of Business and Finance investment banker happened to return to India. And he was traveling by train, and my train was late. So I was at the railway station waiting for my train, and then suddenly this uncle ji comes in a white kurta pajama and sits next to me. And, I was waiting, he was waiting, we were going to the same train, and we happened to ask, kya karte ho? So this uncle ji tells me that I have a samosa ka business. I was like, okay. He said, I have a samosa ki factory. I was like, samosa ki factory bhi hoti hai? So then he said, yes, I have a samosa ki factory, which is like 1,000 square feet space. And I fry samosas there every morning and give it to all the fairy walas in the city. And these fairy walas then sell these samosas every day and give me the money. And I was like, how many samosas do you sell? So he says, I sell 4,000 samosas a day. And 4,000 in a city of 40 lakh population is no number. I mean, so 4,000 samosas per day. He was like, 4,000 samosas is just nothing. I am always overbooked for 4,000 samosas. I said, how much money do you make per samosa? So he said 2 rupees per samosa. So I was like, okay, 2 rupees per samosa, 4,000 samosas. Number is 8,000 rupees profit per day in cash without any tax liabilities, right? Because samosa wale uncle hai. Now 8,000 rupees per day would mean 2 lakh. How much? 2,40,000 per month, and 28 lakhs per annum for selling samosas, and 5 lakh rupees to work in Genpact for being a chartered accountant. And I was like, shit, man. I mean, I'm a chartered accountant. 5 lakh rupees working for Genpact is crazy as a deal. Samosa ka business is much better. And I was like, okay, this is knowledge for me. Then I live in a decently posh area in Jaipur. So I have a decent house. It's like a villa, and I've moved out of the house. But so this is house, and one house next to my house was getting renovated, and somebody purchased it. So there's like buzz in the lane that somebody new is coming, and this house is gonna be fancy with 3 Mercedes and 1 BMW and variety of cars and very fancy and everything. And I was like, okay, who's these new guys coming in? And then what I get to know is that this guy and my house and his house. So my house is like average house. His house is like plush house, amazingly big house. And this house is owned by a Supari wala. And I was like, London School of Business and Finance, living next to a Supari wala, and his house is way better than mine. And what am I doing with my life? I better be a Supari wala. And that's exactly what changed the thought process. I was like, I have to start doing things differently. I have to start not thinking about just following the herd, just following the crowd. That doesn't make sense in life. You actually have to do something different. And These are the classic reasons which, I think you have to start understanding that this is the time for problems. This is the time for startups. And India is now number 3 in the world for startups. So if you don't do a startup now, you're actually ruining your life. Okay. I'll also tell you something. Jobs nahi hai. Jobs ki situation bahut kharab hai. And no matter what you say, people are being laid off or, compromising on jobs. Okay, some people are getting jobs. Not everybody is, jobless, but not as great as it used to be. And I know that is happening around us. So are we really taking the whole things? Now, my problem and my question to all of you is, why do you not? How many of you have actually started a startup yet? How many? And why not now? Why not do it right away? Okay. I can see some of you probably, and I could see 1 or 2 logos. So I realize that you guys have some startups there, but most of you are not doing a startup. And I'll tell you the classic bahanas with you guys. मैं तुम्हारे बहाने बताता हूँ. Rajkush says you are doing a startup. Fantastic, Rajkush. Proud of you. Anyone else doing startups? Raise your hand. Show me raise of hand. Probably, type chat. Okay, Rashmita is doing a startup. Fantastic. Okay. Who else? Anyone else? So, yeah, you may probably chat out, type it out. Anyone else wants to say something, just give it a shot. Let's keep it interactive. And if you guys are sleeping, then tell me that we are sleeping. So, we are getting bored of this entire thing. But are you guys getting bored? Okay, just working. Ankit says working on a POC. Fantastic, Ankit. Who else? Others? I'll tell you the reasons for not doing a startup. Okay, fantastic, Shri. That's also great. Okay. So I'll tell you classic reasons for not doing a startup. So you will say 5 answers. I'll tell you those answers also. I do not have an idea. Problem number 1. I don't know what to do. I want to do, but I don't know the idea. Right? That's problem number 1. Problem number 2. I do not have the money to start. I am worried. I don't have the money to start. Startup will mean funding. Startup will need money. I don't have the money. How will I start? That's the reason I will not do it. I want stability in my life. I want to have a stable, secure, safe life where nothing happens to me, right? And that's classic reason number 3. Bahana number 4. I will do a job for 2-3 years. And then after those 2-3 years, I will do a business. Let me get some experience. That experience is important. Everybody's told me that experience is very important. Job experience ke baad startup karna chahiye. Abhi karna nahi chahiye, right? So that's bahana number 4. Bahana number 5. You will say, mom, dad nahi manenge. Mere mom, dad ko problem ho jayegi. That's the problem. I don't have this. So these are those 5 classic problems that you have, and that is it. Uske upar tumhara problem bhi nahi hai. Matlab, these are the bahanas, and I'll give you the answers to all of this. And if I'm able to answer all of this, you have a compelling reason to do a startup. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Number 1, you don't have an idea. Trust me, nobody has an idea. Everybody churaos. Copy and copy and copy, and that's the only job. Tumhe engineering mein to aana chahiye bhai sahab ye karna. Don't you know how to do this? Don't tell me you guys don't know this, right? Copy paste is the best option. Google was never the first search engine. Facebook was never the first social media site. Flipkart was never the first e-commerce platform. Ola was never the first cab sharing. Sabne churaya. Tumko churane mein roka kisne hai, mujhe ye batao. What is the problem? All you have to do is go to Shark Tank, listen to 12 seasons. हर सीजन के अंदर 5-5 एपिसोड के 10-10 सीजन एपिसोड्स है. You have to just copy those ideas, apply them, and try which one will work in India. Go to your story, check out those startups. Somebody is doing in Bihar, you do it in Patna. So you do it in Rajasthan, and that's all that you have to do. Simple, right? You go to Inc42, go to entrepreneur.com. These startup ideas are lying just like that. Go to Startup India website. Startup India website mentions startup ideas there and says these are the startup ideas we want you to do. And people are not doing it. If you tell me you don't have an idea, you are bloody lazy. That's all. You are just trying to fool yourself because you do not want to even copy paste. Like yesterday I was counseling a girl and she was asking me about some course only. So she said, what's the qualification? What will come in the exam? How do I prepare? I was like, why don't you go to the website and check? It's just there. Everything is written. I sent her a link on the chat box and said, here's the link. See, this is all you have to do. You have to just go online and copy that idea which you can deliver well. So all you have to do is start thinking about what can you do. So probably sending people to moon could be a great business idea, but leave it to Elon Musk because you can't do it at this moment. Right? And I think that's the way you have to start thinking about business ideas. That, okay, there are multiple business ideas around. What can I do best? And that's exactly the way to start a business idea, that, this is how you start. But start off, there is nothing to lose. You will be such a popular man. And imagine for networking, I'll tell you the classic reason. Even if you do not do a startup for this reason, it will show in your CV. And in your CV, in your visiting card, you guys will carry a visiting card, which will say CEO XYZ Company Private Limited. And will that not be super cool? Rather than saying, I'm a student of XYZ college, some society. I don't care about it, frankly. I would want to see a CEO and who says, I am CEO some XYZ company there. And that's your card that you carry around and tell, this is what I am. Your signature in your email would say something like that. Your LinkedIn account would say something like that. And that's so super cool. So it'll just be a fashion. Although I disregard this fashion, but it'll still be a better option than not doing anything. So this is problem number one. Problem number two, I don't have the money. Okay. So I'll tell you two stories here. Okay. Number one story here is that when I started, the first business I put in the money. And when I put in the money, I failed. So the second business, I decided I'll start with a table and chair only. That table and chair was actually still lying in my office only. So that table and chair is the only asset that I started with. And today that business is multi-crore business with just one table and chair. Right? Flipkart started with total seed capital of 4 lakh rupees only. Right? Ola founders started Ola in IIT Bombay dorm room. They did not have the money. They're all average family people like us, and that's exactly what it is. They're all just average guys. And I'll also take pride in sharing something interesting here, that most of the founders of top shot startups today in India are Agarwal Marwadis. Right? I come from the same background. इधर दिमाग ही ऐसे चलता है. Right? अग्रवाल मारवाड़ी के हिसाब से सोचो, बिना पैसे के बिजनेस करना सीखो, दूसरे का सामान. So imagine Google does not even have its own content. Facebook doesn't have its own content. दूसरों का content बेच के पैसा कमाते हैं. Flipkart sells somebody else's content to somebody else delivers. Ola की ना गाड़ी ना ड्राइवर, कुछ भी खुद का नहीं है, केवल एक ऐप. And you're doing it for others and you make money. Marwadi mentality. All these founders are Marwadi Agarwals. All the unicorns which are created this year, 3 to 4 of them are from Rajasthan, Jaipur only. Okay, I've seen them grow here, and that's exactly how they think. भाई साहब अपना पैसा नहीं लगाना है, बिना पैसे के दूसरे के पैसे से. And believe me, that's what is possible. If it is possible for every single other startup, believe me, you're lucky that you're poor today, because only when you are poor that you have a story to tell. Right? If Paresh Gupta is invited today by ESL NIT, it is primarily because I come from a very humble, modest background. When I was your age, I did not have the money to eat a samosa in my canteen. That is exactly the background I come from. I did not have the money to buy a t-shirt and a fancy jeans and a fancy shoe because I did not have the money to do that. I'm the first person in my house to probably become an NRI, to probably have a passport, to probably go and travel in a second AC train also. That's the kind of background I come from. So imagine I have a story to tell. So you're lucky that you're poor today. Imagine that you are lucky that you have a story to tell. Everybody who became big was poor to rich. There's always a rags to rich story. There's never a rich to rich story, no? So be a rags to rich story. You have a reason to become a story like this. So start thinking like that. Money is not a problem at all. Also understand, इस time पे अगर India में पैसा नहीं आ रहा ना, तो कभी आ भी नहीं रहा था. I mean, this is the time when funding is flowing crazy. Maximum funding happening. Government is pulling in money. Private investors are pulling in money. Angel investors are available in plenty. तुम चाहते क्या हो यार? मतलब इससे ज़्यादा कितना पैसा चाहिए तुमको? You know, so investors are just available. बिखरे पड़े हैं. Everybody wants to be an angel investor. That's another problem. Right? So every rich guy is now an angel investor. They are just saying, I am an angel investor. I am an angel investor. पैसा दो नहीं लगाएंगे. But this is exactly what is happening around. So you have to start understanding that this is what is the time to invest. Don't worry about money. If you have the right product, you can grow, scale, raise the money, grow step 1, step 2, step 3. Every startup has done this way only. So you can do this. Number 3, right? तुमको stable life चाहिए. You do not want to take risk. तुम्हें risk लेने में डर लगता है. Okay. Now the problem is, if that is the case, I would say stop living your life. Because understand, you know, there's this movie called Padman. And Padman mein Akshay Kumar has this beautiful dialogue where he says, the lifeline is like this, you know, it's like a curve. And it goes up and down, up and down. And if you want stable life, the best way to get a stable life is go die. Beautiful idea. Most stable. 100% stability. Why do you need some problems? Don't have any problem, go die. It will be lesser people. At least bring down the population to 70 crores again. It will be a nice, happy, good world. Remove 50% population from the world. Let's follow, Avengers. And, half people dying, good idea. Let's do that. Stable life. You will be having a stable life. We'll have a good life. Right? We'll enjoy our life with ups and downs here. I am happy to have those ups and downs. So enjoy that risk. That is the fun of life. If you're not enjoying these ups and downs of life, why the hell are you living this life? So have this fun. Take the risk. This is the time to take calculated risk. Don't take random risk. Plan it out. Systematically do this. You can always do this. And you guys today have no problems. You guys are absolutely free birds. तुम्हारे सर पे problem नहीं है. You guys are not married. You don't have children. You don't have, parents to really take care of financially. You guys are pretty cool till the time you're doing your college. And anyway, you're not studying. And I know that. Right? So, so if you're not studying and if you're actually having no liabilities, life will never be better than this for a startup. This is the time to do a startup. So please start understanding, if you do not take risks, you are not living life. Just enjoy this life, right? I mean, are you not doing the same thing while you're dating people? Don't you try multiple things? Don't you try multiple people, right? So then why not try multiple things in your life? Try to find a thumb impression. Try to just do some new things, right? Give it a shot. If you fail, I'll be the first one to congratulate you. I'll say, fantastic. I'm proud of you because you at least tried. You're not a duffer. You're not a boring man, right? And that's the way to probably think about life. That's my perspective of life. And the last point was, मम्मी पापा नहीं मानेंगे. तुम सोचो शादी कैसे करोगे? अगर तुम्हें अपनी पसंद की लड़की या लड़के से शादी करनी है तो भी तो मम्मी पापा को मनाओगे, right? जिंदगी तुम्हारी, life is yours. You have to plan it out. You have to do this. They also did something like this when they were young, believe me, right? And now they want all the stability for you, right? But you have to take your risk for your life. It is your life. All they need is you to be safe. So give them that confidence. I'll tell you what I did. I proved to my parents. I told them, see, I'll do this for you. I'll do this degree. I'll get this qualification. I'll get this rank 1. After that, please don't tell me anything to do. Once I got my first rank 1 as a topper of the state, they said, okay, now you do whatever you feel like. We understand you are sensible, mature, smart enough to decide for your life. We will not interfere in your life. You take your decisions. You want our help, we'll discuss, we'll support, we'll advise, but we'll not force you for anything. And that's exactly how it has been with me. You guys have to just give them the confidence that you're capable. You're capable of doing something. And there'll be one day when they'll be proud of you. Right? Like my dad always wanted me to be an IAS officer. And he's like, beta, tujhe IAS banna hai. Tu the topper hai. I was like a university topper, CA topper, CBSE topper. And he's like, topper so IAS hi bante hain. This is what the family lineage is. And I did not even fill the IAS form. And he was so upset. He was so unhappy about this entire idea. He was like, this guy is crazy. This guy is such a stupid fellow. And I was like, no, I want to be an investment banker. I want to go out of the country. I don't want to be an IAS officer here in this country. After so many years, I returned back to India. And then the government decided to make me the brand ambassador for, the state youth and sports. And then I was meeting this chief minister and I was meeting everybody around. And my dad is like, I am so proud of you, beta. And I was like, yay, I could do this after being an entrepreneur also. And you can be one of those guys. So you guys have to start thinking of it like that. Start thinking कि तुम अपने parents को कैसे proud करते हो यार. That's all that matters. So please stop thinking, things like that. And that's the only thing which I want to share with all of you guys, that please start thinking. Stop worrying about risk. You guys should take risks. This is your time to take it. Money we have discussed. Business ideas we have discussed. Social pressures. This is the last one, So if you guys are worried about दुनिया क्या सोचेगी, मैं तुम्हें एक बहुत क्लासिक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. दुनिया गई तेल लेने. Because दुनिया का काम पता है क्या है? To pull you down, to kill you, and they're happy with one less competition. Right? They'll be always happy with one less competition. They do not want good for you, trust me. Your आजू-बाजू के लोग, your acquaintances typically, your दूर के मामा, काका, चाचा, your भैया, दीदी वाले दूसरे जो माँ बाप बताते बेटा ये भैया, ये वाले दीदी, ये वाले अंकल, ये वाले ये. Don't worry about them at all. They do not exist for you. We should not think about them at all. And this is not only for business. This is for everything in life. If you start comparing yourself with them, then start matching a thumb impression. ना मिलाओ अपना हाथ भी वैसे ही काटो. Right? अपना रेटिना भी मिलाओ. अपना ईयर डिजाइन भी बनाओ. तुम्हारी बॉडी में भी इतने सारे indications are that you're different. You're born different. You're made different by God. And you're not trying to be different. That's so funny. that God decided to make you different. God said, these are unique features to you. I am giving Raj Khush some extra thing, Rashmita something, Shri something, Kartike something, Ankit something. But all of them are trying to do one thing. Why? You guys have to be different. And that's exactly what you have to live with, right? So social pressure is a nonsense idea. It is a good thing to get inspired by people. It is good to probably, take ideas from others, but then do yourself. Do something of yourself. And people will always pull you down. People are there to pull you down. I'll tell you one thing. People will always say, beta, hame to pehle se hi pata tha. Right? And they'll always, so I came back from London, okay? Very funny thing happened, okay? So I came back and I said, I'll do business. All my family, entire family, दूर के रिश्तेदार आके बोले, तेरा दिमाग खराब है, तू पागल है, तू क्यों startup कर रहा है? You should not do this. This is not. Go back to London. Don't do this. Don't do this. And I was like, okay. I would get disheartened. I would cry every night. I was like, what the hell am I got into? I lost 40 lakh rupees in the business. I would feel more frustrated. Okay. And then things started turning around. And I said, things changed. Ye happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. And then I became, good. Okay. So, I mean, by social standards. And then people started recognizing me for my efforts. Now, the same guys would come back to my house and tell me, beta, hame to pehle hi pata tha, tum bahut acha karoge life. Right? We always knew you are an outstanding, shining, bright fellow. We always had confidence and belief in you. We always told you, "Dekhna, tum acha ek din karke dikhaoge. Ab hamara ye kaam hai, please ye karwa do." And that's exactly how the world is. If you are useful to them, you are the best person. If you're not useful to them, they don't care for you. And they actually think about themselves. They do not think about you at all. The world does not think about you. That's the problem. At your age, you guys are so much governed by what people think about you. You want social acceptance right now. And that's not important. What is important is to accept yourself, to understand yourself. Because by the age of 60 or probably by the age of 40, 45, you'll start realizing nobody was ever thinking about you anyway. Nobody cared for you. Except for your parents and your spouse or, whatever, partner or whatever. Uske अलावा किसी को तुमसे मतलब ही नहीं था life में, सच्ची में. So क्यों चिंता कर रहे हो? So care a damn. And that's exactly the reasons to probably follow your heart. And the only way to follow your heart would be to do a startup. And look out for stories. I would generally say that start getting inspired by people, check out their stories, check out what they see, what they do. I am a LinkedIn stalker, trust me. I go out on LinkedIn and stalk people, check their profile, see what they do. I go and reach out to people. I check stories of people, and everybody has had a struggle story. Everybody has, see, what, the story from outside looks very fancy. A lot of people come and tell me, you have a fancy story, you have everything sorted in life. Yes, because that's the way I present it. Kabhi meri zindagi aake dekho. And if I tell you my problems, you'll say, oh my God, we cannot live with these problems. The problems are plenty. I have as many problems that you can imagine. And my life is as full of problems. But then the only thing which I like is I have problems, so I have something to solve. I would solve one so that I can get the next one. And that's the fun part of life. Let me try solving these problems. Let me try solving problems for others now. And if I don't have my problems, I take other people's problems and I make their problem as my problem and start doing things for them. So just do that. And I would say there are a lot of government support. Go to startupindia.com site and I can give you examples. If you guys don't want, if you have money, you can check out NIT-A site, which offers 5 lakh and 25 lakh rupees grant. Okay, government is offering 50% grant and 40% loan to MSME businesses. If you are an eligible startup, government is paying you 30,000 stipend to do a startup. Imagine somebody is paying you money to do a startup. And this is unheard of. I wish I had this option when I was your age. I would have just jumped to the idea like, okay, I go with a startup idea, go to the right places and get this 30,000 stipend. And wow, that's such a cool thing, right? These are the sectors which I think are going to be great in the coming years. Essential commodities, agriculture, healthcare, robotics. What's happening is, lot of mechanizations and lot of interesting rural marketing, rural India is the next place. So tier 2, tier 3, rural business, and every business is now going rural. So I think start thinking. And the flavor of this season, last 2 years, is edtech and fintech. So agar tum fintech or edtech mein jaate ho, to best hai. And I'll give you one more thing that most people think about ki hame itna finance nahi aata, hum to engineers hain. Bolo, aisa bolo. I know that's another excuse to have. हमें finance नहीं समझ आता. Accounts, balance sheet तो बहुत मुश्किल होगा. हमें कैसे बनाना है? कैसे करना है? So I'll tell you what. कभी chartered accountant से पूछो, वो बोलेंगे हमें technology नहीं आती. किसी business को बोलोगे, people don't know some things or the other always. Okay, every founder has to learn something. If you don't know it, go and learn. What is the problem? Go and learn. So just learn finance, learn accounting, learn numbers, learn all of this, because you will have to do this. You have to be a multitasker. You cannot be a dull, boring person. जिसमें मैं तो केवल engineer बनूंगा, एक ही चीज आती है मेरे को. The world is going to change, and that's exactly what people are not looking for in the future. So you guys have to start thinking about edtech, fintech is the future. And trust me, maximum deals right now, maximum fundraise is happening in edtech, fintech. And next year's, I am definitely thinking that, AR, VR, AI, and ML will be the world. And blockchain. Oh my God, blockchain is going to be the world. Bitcoins have started coming big time. और तुम अगर blockchain में startup बनाते हो, I can bet on it कि अगले 2 साल 3 साल के अंदर तुम amazing कर रहे होगे. So go for blockchain. Trust me. It's a beautiful sector to be in. That's the place to start thinking about. Blockchain is now getting the acceptance. और अभी तो market पूरा unorganized पड़ा है. Hardly anybody is going through it. Regulations will come, things will become standardized, things will become structured, and you will actually see blockchain emerging as a winner. So blockchain as a technology is wonderful technology, right? So blockchain, AI, AR, VR, if you're doing anything on this, and as engineers, if you really pick up something of this sort, you guys have a serious classic reason to do something great. So I think these are the sectors that I want to bring, and that's about it from my side. I do not want to bore you further with a boring presentation. I would rather spend time talking to you. If somebody wants to talk to me, if you don't want to talk to me, I'll have a free evening. I'll get 45 minutes free of time because I have no other meeting till 6:30. It is blocked for you guys, but more than happy to talk, share, talk whatever you feel like. So just tell me whatever is in your mind, any question, any thoughts, anything that you want to talk to me about. More than happy. But thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to talking to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, guys, the platform is up. Thank you very much, sir, for your words. And okay, so the platform is up for questions. Anybody has any? Just drop them.
Yeah, before the ESIL team, we want other participants to ask the question.
Sir, what is the best way or method to get or approach a customer? Or if I am looking for my agency, like I started a digital marketing agency, then what is the best method to approach or to maintain our customer base?
But what business are you in?
Sir, digital marketing agency. So I just started.
You just do digital marketing for other people, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think one thing which I would recommend is to start building a specialization. Like, give me an example. For example, there is a startup.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but your voice isn't coming properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So I am saying that, while doing, digital marketing, I would say start defining your specialization. Like, for example, I mentor a startup, it's called Artistic You. They do digital marketing only, but they do it for artists only. Now, what they've done is that they have built an entire segment of artist-related, services. And that entire cohort of services, everything is designed for artists. What happens with this is that now you can reach out to a specific community of artists. So then you can reach out to artist platforms, artist groups, artist, WhatsApp networks, and then ask them for business, right? That's one way of doing this. Second option is, so start thinking which is your specialization. It could be, sports people. It could be MSMEs. It could be agriculture, startups. It could be XYZ. Or you can have 2-3 sectors, but have a focused approach. Rather than having a generic approach, I'll do digital marketing for anybody. I would say don't do that. Have sectors in mind. And if you have sectors, then you have a target audience. If you have a target audience, you know where to reach them. Okay, number one. Join number 2 business networks. So I would say BNI, CIIE, SHM, Head Start. These are amazing networks to reach out to people. So there are business networks, and there are conferences happening around these networks always. So for example, you will find that, let's say your area of specialization is agriculture. So now you'll have agriculture conferences happening. Enter into this conference, get the contacts of all the agriculture, startups there, and market them. Then reach out to them personally. Because at this moment, your approach has to be more focused rather than a generic thing. And if you are a social media marketer, I should not tell you how to do social media market for yourself, right?
Yes,
So
sir, yes.
I'm not going to do that. I would rather, tell you that, be focused. So all I would recommend at this moment is have a focused approach. So define the sector where you know best. You understand the competition. You can tell them, I understand. So let's say education could be one sector, robotics could be another sector, whatever sector you pick, right? And approach businesses. Unka list nikalna hai tumko. I'll give you another example. Startup India ki site pe jao. Go to a sector. It will give you the list of all the startups, in that sector. So reach out to them personally, ping them, right? Reach out to them on LinkedIn, reach out to the founders on each of these businesses. So all you need is directories. So go to directories, go to Just Dial, if nothing else. Go to India Mart. I care a damn. Genuinely, you just go to India Mart. If you're looking for, let's say, machine manufacturers, you can just reach out to them, get their contact numbers and say, I do this business. Yeah, you can actually do this. And that's the approach I would take for, getting customers. So it depends on business to business, but for your business, this is my
Yes, so I started this start, I think 2 to 3 days it's happened. Hope I get my first client. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, anyone up there?
Guys, anybody else has a question?
Here is my LinkedIn.
So as most of the students are from first year of the college, so they are still getting the exposure of different fields and also definitely. So I would like to take up if anyone, Ankit, you wanted to ask? No, okay, sorry. Anyone was asking something?
Yes, Rashmita.
Yeah, Rashmita.
Good evening, sir. Sir, that was a brilliant session with you. Sir, my question was regarding the startup I had been working on. So I was trying to build a paper-based packaging. So like you said, copying ideas. So I'm from Agartala, Tripura. So I noticed that in here, there are no such manufacturing units. People import it from other states or somewhere. But one thing is that people keep talking about the third wave of COVID coming and nobody will be purchasing now because people are not going out. So sir, that thing keeps haunting. When should I start? Is it the right time to start? Maybe if I start later, I'll get more exposure. Or if I start now, I can still do it. So sir, regarding those confusions, sir, what would you
So my answer is actually packaging has become more important during COVID because people are shopping more online, right? So I would rather say that the packaging industry has grown in this period. It has not declined at all. So if you actually select the right packaging, which is good for deliveries, right? Rather than worrying about other things. So I'll give you what is happening right now. Cardboard is the place to go to. And 3D cardboards, so which is like cut out with printed cardboard packaging is the future. So let's say, for example, earlier there used to be just standard cartons. And now today you have printed cartons, right? And a printed carton is way better than a standard, cardboard box. So can you do something innovative around that? Can you actually create innovative cartons? Can you create innovative packaging around that? Can you do innovative, designs around this? Because let's say, imagine that you're getting an Amazon box and inside that box is a beautifully packaged item. And that is happening plenty now. I mean, this is going crazy. This is actually the time for packaging. So packaging industry is booming right now. The only thing is that it is not what other packaging would you do? I mean, the packaging industry, though, I would say this is the right time to get through, but define a USP. And typically, classically, online packaging, right? Or business which are doing, so find out businesses in your city which are doing packaging, which are doing online sales. So find out online vendors and then go to them, reach out to them and say, okay, I have this packaging option available to you. I'll offer this option to you. Why don't you use my packaging now? So imagine, so like today at Domino's Pizza is beautifully packaged, irrespective. It is delivered. Look at the cups they have designed, look at the box. For everything, there's a beautiful packaging available. You have to start thinking about what packaging can you do around. I mean, do you have a similar idea or something else?
Yes, sir, exactly that. That was my idea that packaging usually we consider some boring kind of boxes or something. So the design innovation thing, a little different from what people do classically. That was my idea. So that the timing thing was really a problem. I'm almost ready to do with the things, but then again, should I start? Should I not?
You should start because this is the time for packaging. Trust me, people are shopping online and they're shopping online big time. Ask all your friends now. तुम कब और कहाँ से shopping कर रहे हो? You're only shopping online. And don't you guys have relationships? Don't you guys have boyfriends and girlfriends whom you want to gift something? They should be the ones you should probably go to all the ferns and petals and go to all the gifting businesses. Reach out to them, tell them I have a great packaging idea, and we would package this so beautifully that all your clients would love it. Do something of that sort. So I think that's the way to start with, but don't be shy of starting now. I think it's the time to do it.
Okay, sir. I'll take a note of that. We'll start really soon.
Reach out to me. Happy to help. Anytime.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Aryan.
Sir, actually, you did your MBA from London, I guess. So, sir, like currently, I'm also in this stage कि मैं सोच रहा हूँ like I should do from masters from America or something, and then maybe after getting a work experience of let's say 5 years or something, and then maybe go into entrepreneurship or that sort. Because I specifically don't want to do any business or anything similar in India. Specifically, sir, because the entrepreneurship ecosystem is way bigger in, Western countries specifically. So, like,
okay. So, answer is it is way more difficult to do a business outside. Trust me. Okay. It is much easier to do an education and do a job and be an academician outside, but to start a business outside, you don't see Indian entrepreneurs outside as much, right? Doing business in your own country is easier because your network is here, right? Mm-hmm. Business is all about networks. Your network exists here. The number of people that you get here, every company is trying to come to India today, right? Their ecosystem, irrespective of whether they start in US or not, they actually target India as a market. So there is no harm in doing a business in India. India is the land of opportunities right now. India is the place for opportunities. So don't think of this, I want to start it in US. You want to go to US, get the exposure, work with a startup there, work as an intern, work with 5 startups as an intern, learn what they do, what differently they do, and then apply that and come to India. It's a simple copy-paste job. If you go there, it is a lot more difficult because you're not matured enough to that economy. You do not have family. You do not have friends. You do not have the base to start something like that. You do not understand that entire thing. So building a business in America would be way more difficult, right?
Okay.
So my answer would be, you may try. I mean, not that people can't do it, right? But you will take a lot of time doing it. To start in India is very easy. You can start it tomorrow. So anything you can start, you can try tomorrow. And I'll give you a very simple thing that if you actually start a business in India today, try it out. You never know where it might take you. But if you go to America with this startup in India, they will love this thought that, oh, Aryan is a great guy who started something in India. His CV is amazing. Right? And that's now being appreciated like crazy. So anybody who's now going out, people are looking for entrepreneurial skills everywhere. Right? Even for masters, even for any qualification that you're going for, any further studies also you're going for, people are looking for these entrepreneurial, activities. हम लोग तो in fact बच्चों को advise करते हैं classically when we actually advise people for profile creation. We tell them to do a startup. We tell them to do a social activity and a startup. These are 2 things which we always tell them, that please show this so that it reflects your leadership abilities. It shows your management abilities. It shows your entrepreneurial skills, and that's highly valued across the globe right now. Even if you're going to an MBA college, if you go with an entrepreneurial stint in the past, the mindset is changed now, and this has happened in the last 5 years. 5 years back, trust me, people would frown upon an entrepreneurship experience. They would say, ये बच्चा तो business करेगा, MBA के लायक नहीं है या masters नहीं करना चाहिए. Today, all MBAs are looking for an entrepreneur behind you. They're looking for people who are having entrepreneurial experiences. So my answer is, so now in the process, you might get lucky and your startup in India becomes so good that you feel I don't need any further qualification anyway. And why should I not drop the idea? And जितना पैसा मैं वहाँ खर्च कर रहा था, उसकी जगह मैं अपने business में seed capital में क्यों नहीं डाल लेता हूँ? Imagine that बाहर जाकर के तुम 1 करोड़ रुपया खर्च करोगे, वो 1 करोड़ रुपए में तुम यहाँ पे एक factory डाल लोगे, dude. Right? And one full factory will be established here, and you will be actually a great entrepreneur. And who stops you from doing that? And then you will be a CEO, Aryan Vijay Varghese. Right? So you never know. This is possible here, not there. Starting there would be way more difficult. So yes, and I'll tell you one more thing. Okay, what happens? Classically, why people don't do this? Because if you go out, you will take a loan. Most probably.
Yeah.
You take a loan, then you will have to pay it back. While you pay it back, you'll go at the age of like 22, 23, 24, 25, average age. Okay. By the time so then you start paying off your loans. You take 5 years to pay off the loan. By the time you turn 28 to 30, that time your parents will tell you, beta, now get married. You will also want to get married, right? You want to become, committed to someone, and you say, "Ab to mujhe shaadi karni hai." Once you get married, your partner will say, "Bhai sahab, please let's not take risks." Right now, we want to go the family way. We should be more safe. Go for a job only. It is stable, safe, and secure only. And the entire idea will be crushed. And then you'll decide to take up a house. And the moment you take up a house, you take another 20 years of loan. And then decide to take a car also. And you take another 5 years of, loan. And that's exactly what your life will look like. And once you have a housing loan, whichever part of the world you are in, you will never be able to do a startup because you have to pay off that housing loan. Right? So it's a very difficult journey. Trust me, that decision after 5 years and after taking a loan, that's exactly why IIM Ahmedabad produces the least number of startups in the country, unfortunately. Right? IIM Ahmedabad does not produce startups at all because everybody who goes there takes a loan. They have a loan of 20-30 lakhs. This 20-30 lakh loans means 5 to 6 years of job minimum. And once they pay that off, then by the time they're too late to do a startup, by the time they're thinking the family way, the stable way, they're so relaxed, they're like so much chilled out with their life and career that they don't have that thought process anymore. So yeah, this is what is expected. But yes, people like me also do these stupid things. You can be one of them.
Okay, sure. So I will keep these points in mind. Thanks a lot, sir. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
So my question revolves around building a physical product. So whenever we are building a physical product to be implemented, either for B2B model or B2C model, the R&D part is always left. You are always wanting to add something or subtract something. But at the same time, you want to have your business development aspect because you have to pay your people who are working for you or other. So for longer term, you cannot sustain on funding from government or any other organization. So we have to do the R&D also. We have to do the business development. So how to balance these two things, which is, I think I'm personally feeling imbalance around. And first question is that. And the second question is, whenever we have made a product, it's like I am attached to that product. Okay, I want that product to be implemented. I am not sure about whether I will be good at the business aspect of it. I'm just literally convinced with the product's feasibility, product's eco-friendliness, everything is up to the mark. But I'm not very sure about whether I should do the business or not. So these are the two questions. Right?
I'll give you very classic answers to this. Are you trying to be a scientist or you're trying to be an entrepreneur?
So your voice isn't coming properly.
Are you trying to be a scientist or you're trying to be an entrepreneur?
That's a bit of confusion. I like to innovate. I like to make products. Yeah, but I'm in a midway.
You have to decide a career choice that you are a scientist or you're an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs think differently. The purpose of business is not to innovate and do science. The purpose of business is maximization of shareholders' wealth. ये हमें chartered accountancy में सिखाते हैं. Right? First lesson in business studies is purpose of business is maximization of shareholders' wealth, which means I will leverage Raj Khush's scientific ability to make money. That is exactly what an entrepreneur can do, right? So you should leverage other people's ability. You don't have to be the scientist. You don't have to be the engineer. You don't have to be the chartered accountant. You don't have to be the app developer. You don't have to be the web developer. Everything दूसरों का. हमें दूसरों की skill से फायदा उठाना है, वो एक entrepreneur, right? So hire the right set of people, get them partners, become partners with them, leverage their skills. You as an entrepreneur are not supposed to do anything. You are supposed to only network. And think about money. That's all. So you have to start thinking, what is the resource that is available? How can I get that resource and make money out of that? If that is not exciting you, then don't do business, because then that's a scientist mindset. Scientists don't think like that. Scientists think like, oh, I want to just do research. I want to innovate a product which may not even work. I'll give you an example, okay? I don't want to quote, but there's a top shot university in the country, right? Which did an innovation channel, and I hope everybody here is an adult who's in this conference right now, workshop right now, or we don't have adults.
Everyone is aware.
No, sir.
Anyway, this is public news.
Sir, we might have some.
So there was a bra which was designed, which was an emergency bra in this top shot university, which got the first innovation prize. And the bra was designed like this, that if there is an emergency situation, you can put that bra on your mouth and breathe, and it will actually protect you from the smoke and whatever. And believe me, the bra never saw the face of light in business at all. It still does not exist in the market. Because I would never put that bra on my mouth and say, no, I'm okay to die, but I would not want to do that to myself. That's not practically working for me. It is not, emotionally, it will not sink into me. Right? I will not do it. So I'll not buy this product at all. It may be a great scientific innovation. Now, that's the way you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur. That am I thinking like a bra manufacturer, or I'm thinking like a person who actually sells an oxygen cylinder on Amazon and says, oh, free oxygen, Himalayan air, and make money out of that Himalayan air. That is somebody selling Himalayan air, right? So that Himalayan air sells, but that protection bra doesn't sell. Probably the purpose of both of them is the same. This one also gives you the fresh oxygen air. This one also is doing the same. We'd still not do that, right? So you have to start thinking that तुम businessman के जैसे कैसे सोच रहे हो. So this is the answer to the first question. Please do not think like a researcher. Engage them. I am not saying innovation मत करो, right? I am not trying to say कि business में innovation की जरूरत नहीं है. But business innovation is not only product innovation. Understand 90% products are the same, right? It's all about innovation in all other things, right? It could be innovation in just marketing. It could be innovation in delivery. It could be just innovation in branding. It should be innovation in finance. It could be innovation in 10,000 operations. It could be innovation in all the other things, right? And you don't need to just worry about product innovation, because if you're just doing product innovation, you are actually becoming a scientist. And I would rather hire scientists rather than being a scientist myself, okay, as an entrepreneur. And I think that answers most of your questions. The second question was also around this only, right? That what was the second question?
Whether I want to have the product into the market, but I don't know whether I'm...
So your purpose is, if you believe in the product attributes, I care a damn. What sells is what sells, what people want. Okay, so you have to worry about, in business, it's all about customer. That's why we say customer is the king. You have to worry about customers. See, understand, Nibu ki Shakti in wheel, there was no Nibu ever in it. Understand this, right? We all have products like this. Hazelnut का हम Nutella खाते हैं, उसमें total पूरी bottle में तीन hazelnut होते हैं, total by size. Everything else is corn syrup and sugar and color. But they advertise that 3 hazelnut की photograph, and they tell you this is what hazelnut you are consuming. Hazelnut. But there are only 3 hazelnut in इतनी बड़ी bottle, so इतनी बड़ी bottle में 3 hazelnut होते हैं. That's exactly what they do. Cornflakes में 4 बादाम के दाने डालेंगे और बोलेंगे almond powered cornflakes. But people buy it. That's exactly what people do. That's exactly how companies sell products. So this is what is reality of the world, that you have to worry about what customers want. People are given the perception of certain things being healthy, and they may not be healthy at all. Today, tomato sauce that you consume is not tomato. 60% of the tomato sauce is corn syrup. There are only 34% tomato in it. Go and check the label behind it. So yes, my answer is, you may create a great tomato sauce, which is amazing product. People will not buy it because Maggi is selling it better, Kisan is selling it better, some other brand is selling it better, and they're working on the customer mindset. Business is this only, dude. Unfortunately, that's exactly what is the world. We are fooled, and we have to start thinking about what customers want rather than just pushing our thoughts on the people.
Yeah, yes, that definitely answers my question, sir. Thank you for that.
Yes, boss. Anyone else? Any other question?
Yeah, any other question from the audience side?
Sir,
Yes.
I wanted to ask that I was willing to test my project, but the problem is that I'm not sure that how long I would be staying here, because any moment college opens, I'll have to leave from here. Now, once I leave from here, if I test my project over here, it's totally uncertain. How will I be managing?
But what product is it?
It's basically something. It's basically related to, delivery by local shops from this particular place to this particular place itself.
So it's hyper local deliveries.
Yeah, hyper local delivery.
My answer is, please don't do this business.
Yeah.
I'm just giving a straightforward answer. Please don't do this. It's not long term. It's going to give you short term money for some time. It could be just pocket money, pocket exchange, but this can't be a long term business, because some big giants will always kill you down, right? So Zomato and Swiggy will always kill you down in the long term. You may not want to do this for a very long period. Even if you try it, experiment it, it goes well. My answer is, please don't do this. Right? You'll have to start thinking of some innovation around it, some technology around it, something which differentiates you rather than just a hyper local business. See, at the moment during pandemic, it will work. right? And you might probably make some money, 2 lakh, 3 lakh revenues, and you might feel happy, oh, I've done it. But long term, I've seen multiple businesses failing in this entire segment because market में 2-3 से ज़्यादा बड़े players exist ही नहीं करते हैं. So either you get acquired by one of the big ones, or you'll be dead and you'll be killed by them, right? So either you have something so unique that a Zomato or a Swiggy should acquire you, and you should say, plan a product and design a business for them. Start thinking that you should create a business that Swiggy or Zomato acquires you one day, or otherwise don't do it at all, because they will not let you survive. Start thinking every business has only 2 players, and others have come, survived, actually failed, died, and dead and out of the market. And look at any sector, Flipkart and Amazon, बाकी सब खत्म, हजारों आए आके मर गए. Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy, Unacademy, Byju's, हर जगह पे दो ही players ही होंगे, and everywhere it will be 2, and they're almost a cartel. They do things all by almost looking at each other only, because one single company is not allowed in the country. Monopoly Restrictive Trade Practices Act is applicable, so you cannot be a one single company doing this. So they always have 2, and that's exactly the situation in the world also. Every time they'll have 2 companies everywhere, and those 2 companies will exist. Nobody else is allowed to exist. They will kill you down, and they know how to kill you down. Coke and Pepsi, kaam khatam. Third company cannot come. You try launching another cold drink, they'll kill you. Right? You start launching another e-commerce platform, they'll kill you. You start launching a payment gateway, they'll kill you. That's exactly what happens. So either you get acquired. So then a Zomato or a Swiggy will acquire you, and if you're able to do that, great business idea, fantastic. Create something so unique that they acquire you, or you'll be dead. So you have to be very careful about doing and entering into this sector. Start thinking about a sector which is unstructured yet, right? Think of unorganized sectors. I'll give you a very classic idea, okay, business idea, that why don't you think about, and I don't know if there's a comma or not, but why not think about business related to death, right? India का market इतना बड़ा है, इतने सारे लोग हैं, तो लोग मरते भी है रोज, right? उनको ढंग से deliver करना, अगर शादी की management हो सकती है, तो death की management क्यों नहीं हो सकती? It's such a great business idea. I have a business idea which I mentor, which does this for pets. It's called Pet Nirvana, right? And what they do is they do pet cremation. तो आपका कुत्ता अगर मर जाता है ना, तो उसको आप कचरे में फेंक देते हो. तो फिर उसको मतलब दिन भर तो आप अपने बगल में सुला रहे थे. You were sleeping with that dog. You were dying for that dog, and suddenly when it dies, you're throwing it in the trash because there is no place to throw, cremate that dog at all. So now they have started doing a cremation ceremony, and they now put it in an electric incinerator, and that incinerator burns, and then they kind of collect the ashes and pass it on. That business is doing fantastic. People are going crazy about that business. Start thinking, can you do something very organized in that sector? There's so much to be done here. Completely unorganized right now. खाली पड़ा है पूरा सेगमेंट. तुम टीए की बैठक ऑर्गेनाइज करना शुरू करो. तुम 12वीं की वो करो. You have this pandit, you have this entire paraphernalia. Internationally, this is a huge business. People select their own coffins in advance. People decide this is exactly how I want it. They put the money. They actually save the money to actually die a particular way, and you can actually create that entire thing in this country. Huge opportunities. Completely unorganized right now. सब locally दो से एक पंडित जी को बुला लेते हैं, गंदे से तरीके से cremation करते हैं, खत्म हो जाता है story. Why not give people a good death? And that's such a beautiful thought. I would say, I definitely feel that there is no big player in the market right now. And there are 10,000 ideas like that. मतलब hosiery, so many products exist, so many suppliers, nothing organized. You can start thinking of creating brands around that. I don't know. I definitely feel that there is multiple unorganized sectors. Don't get into the organized ones which are already overcrowded. So Uber, Ola से compete मत करो, Byju, Swiggy and Zomato से compete मत करो. कोई ऐसा sector पकड़ो जहाँ पर competition नहीं हो. Sorry, Ankit, but that's my frank personal opinion, unfortunately.
To be honest, it was great listening to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks. I hope, मुझे तो लग रहा है कि बहुत सारे लोग मुझसे बोर हो गए हैं, because कोई question ही नहीं पूछ रहा other than the ones who have their cameras on. बाकी तो मतलब ऐसे मुझे लग रहा है हाय इतना बकवास तो मैं बोलता भी नहीं हूँ.
Any more question, guys?
Anyone else wants to talk to me, please? Yeah.
Anyone else? I guess no one.
All right.
Right then.
Okay. So we can say goodbye then. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Can I take the final question?
Okay.
Allowed. Yeah, so since you have also the government background in your family, a lot of people are doing government jobs. So, what's your thought about entrepreneurship? Like recently, I worked for as an intern in ISRO. So, what they are having the promotional strategy is whoever is doing good work, they would be promoted. But it is not adopted in other organizations, in governmental organizations in India. And what I have seen is like those people who are working in government sector are having huge potential. Their organization is supporting them with funds, everything. They are having time, they are having job security, everything, but still they are not taking that initiative. So what are your thoughts about those people who are working in such organized sectors but still not taking some steps to improve their society?
Why would they? I mean, don't you have? अभी तुम्हारे online exam हुए होंगे ना college में?
Yeah.
सबने cheating करी कि नहीं करी?
Yes.
You have always an incentive to cheat, no? When you're comfortable, when you're sorted, when you don't have to worry, then why would you worry at all? Why would you do it? जब तक problem नहीं आएगी तब तक कोई करेगा क्यों? So I think those guys are in a safe zone. They are in a safe zone. They are in a safety bracket where things are sorted for them, and they have given up on life, frankly. So their life is absolutely dead, dull, and boring. And that's exactly how they decided to choose their lives to live like that. See, trust me, they will not realize it now. They'll realize it at the age of 55, 60. And I can tell you, all these government officers come to me very frequently at the age of 55, 60, and now that time they're scared. They're like, अभी please कोई idea बता दो हमको, हम कुछ और करना चाहते हैं, हमने पूरी जिंदगी तो केवल ऐसे ही बिता दी, हमने ये कर लिया, बस इतना था, अब कुछ करा दो because अभी हमें पता नहीं क्या करना है. So, but that time it's too late, right? So the only thing is that they have to start thinking of it then. It's their choice. We can't really get. I am not here to give yarn to them who's not even listening to me right now. I mean, so trust me. If you ask me, I would want everybody to be so enterprising. And government is a big business person. Petrol price dekho, diesel price dekho, gas ke price dekho. Government is making good money. Government knows how to make money because they're monopolies, right? So they are pretty cool about things, right? They decide music monopoly businesses. They are sitting on piles of cash. They are troubling the citizens of the nation. And they have nothing else to do. So my answer is they will face it one day, and government will also have to rise to the occasion to get this, but we can't get into them. I mean, so my answer is I would say everybody has their own choice of life. So if they are lazy and lethargic to live a stable life, I'll give you another example, Rajkush, that you cannot actually. I'll tell you why I did not become an IAS officer. Okay, the reason I did not become an IAS officer because I realized कि मैं सच्चाई से काम करना चाहता हूँ. मेरे को बदमाशी नहीं करनी. मतलब I don't want to have black money in my life, right? Now if I want to be a government officer, and if I want to become an IAS officer, and if I want to be rich, then it has to be only black money. It cannot be white money. My white money will always be limited. So my white money is what, 2 lakh rupees a month. And believe me, 2 lakh rupees a month I was earning like when I was 26, 27. Right? That's the age when I was earning that. So that's like long back. A senior IAS officer today would not earn more than 3 to 4 lakh rupees a month. That's too low. That's just too low for somebody who's an investment banker, right? So somebody like all my friends in the real world, even in jobs, would earn like 2-3 crores, 4 crores annually. And that's white money. That is absolute sachai ka paisa. Right. So yes, I wanted to go that way. I was like, no, I want to earn like that. I don't want to earn black money and under the table and blah, blah, blah. So that these guys realize later on that, this is what they've done. But it's a personal choice. I would still say everything is great. Every profession is great and everybody has a right to choose whatever they want to choose. हम कौन होते ज्ञान देने वाले? तुम अपना सोचो, तुम्हें क्या करना है वो सोचो यार. तुम तो ये सोचो मुझे ये बनना है भाई, मेरे को एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है तो मेरे को अपना एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बिजनेस ऐसे चलाने का है. या गवर्नमेंट जॉब लेना है तो गवर्नमेंट जॉब ले लो, ये वाली XYZ जैसी भी लेनी है वैसी ले लो, and have a chill life.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I have I have a question.
Yes,
it's not so serious. So I hope you know that India is getting its own adaptation of Shark Tank.
Yes.
So, and on-spot funding is not new to Indian startup ecosystem, but now this will become a reality show.
Correct.
So how do you think it will affect the startup system in India? Because it will be becoming a reality show.
It will be cool. I would say it will actually make startup more fashionable. So people will start thinking, oh, मुझे तो show में जाना इसलिए startup कर लेते हैं. And it will be super cool. So it will give you one more incentive to do it. मेरे लिए तो it's a great thing to happen. I'm glad that something like this is happening. Live funding सब बकवास है. Trust me, ऐसा नहीं होता. What happens behind the screen is absolutely different from what is shown on the screen. So you may see it like that, but the only advantage which you have is exciting people towards startups further. So today, you guys, I mean, believe me, if I look at all colleges 20 years back or 15 years back, 90% of them did not even have an e-cell. There was no conversation of an e-cell. Today, every college has an e-cell. Every college will have some people trying to do something, and that's thanks to the government for for making it glorified. So today being an entrepreneur is a glorified career. People would frown upon. So our times when I was in college, trust me, if somebody would take entrepreneurship as a path, people would frown upon us. People would say, "तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब है, कोई business थोड़ी करते हैं," right? आज की डेट में people are okay. अच्छा Flipkart बनाओगे, अच्छा Ola बनाओगे, अच्छा Freecharge बनाओगे, अच्छा you want to be like Kunal Shah, we are happy. So people will accept that thing has happened. So the more things like this will happen, Shark Tank will have come. My view is people will start thinking that chalo, startup is a fancy thing. It is like making it fancier. There are bad sides to it also. Now my problem is that there'll be bad things also which will happen. So this is the good part. The glorification will happen. But what will happen is this will actually create bad glorification, right? So like, for example, smoking. It is a glorified activity. For boys, it's a cool thing to be a smoker. It's cool to have a joint. It's cool to have weed, right? You might probably just do it because you are amongst friends and you just want to act cool there, right? मैं करता हूँ, चलो try करने में क्या जाता है वैसा वाला story. But then it has got a backfall and pitfall that it burns money, it burns people's time, effort, energy, money, resources, economy, everything behind it, right? It actually shatters dreams because 90% people will not succeed also. It's a tough journey. It is the toughest journey that you have to cross. Right, doing a government job is simplest. Then doing a private job is slightly more difficult. But doing business is way more difficult than any of this. So you are inspiring people to do the most difficult thing. 90% people will fail. They'll get shattered. I'll give you more pitfalls to this. So surprisingly, the number of depression patients who are entrepreneurs is double of a normal average population. So average population depression cases are 15% and entrepreneurship depression cases are 30%. Double ka ratio hai, right? So all of these problems will happen because entrepreneurship is a very tough journey. It is mentally very stressful. It is very difficult. You are going to create that many number of mental problems in the nation, right? And it is going to create troubles as well. But I'm happy that at least somebody is getting excited. India is growing and maturing to the idea of doing startup, doing something different. Startups are getting the glory. At the moment, I'm fine with this thought. So yeah, this is what my take is.
Thank you, sir. The session was great.
Thank you, Anandita. I hope you liked it.
Definitely. Actually, so the session was really great. The explanation, your journey, and startups post-COVID, and specifically the question answer part was really amazing. And we loved the smile, the laugh that you carried throughout the session. So it was really amazing, sir. Yeah, Karthik. You have to say something to add them, no?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. The session was really nice, and thank you for joining us today. We are really honored that you took time out of your day and give it to us. It was really nice. Thank you, sir.
Definitely, as ECEL is working towards boosting the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the whole northeastern India, and we will be glad to have you as our mentor whenever we require any mentorship for any startups. We would be really thankful to you.
Always happy to help. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day and bye-bye and see you. And I will be leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So,